Association Super Bowl of Motorsports, sponsored in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. From the Metrodome in Minneapolis, home of the Minnesota Twins. And this is a funny car. This is the Virginian, the driver DIEHL Wilson. It's an 88 Ford Mustang putting out 1,800 horsepower. 1471 supercharger, enderly injection, 604 Ford engine designed by Alan Root from Ford's Special Vehicle Operations Division. Tell me Ford ain't interested in this machine, Margo.
That's right, and DIEHL's been interested in this machine along with the monster truck we'll be watching him drive a little later tonight.
Now remember, this is an exhibition run between fuel funny cars and top fuel dragsters. They will be pulling a 50,000-pound sled. The Virginian, and as he goes down, the sled will slide forward, the weight will slide forward, putting more weight on the front of it, and look at the front wheels come up in the air.
Great piece of driving. You can tell DIEHL's been doing this for about 13 years.
It's hard to steer when your front wheels are 4 feet off the ground, Margo.
Throttle control, Larry.
Yep, and he makes it all the way through, the Virginian. A beautiful run for a beautiful machine. Now, these are fuel funny cars, but they have a lot of weight attached to them to bring them up to about 6,000 pounds, 6,200 pounds, I believe. They still have an awful lot of horsepower in there, and you have to have some skill in driving these, no question about it. The crowd loves it here in Minneapolis. Look back in slow motion for the Virginian. Shaking and vibrating. Look at the tiny little wheels, Margo.
Incredible. You can really see what finesse it takes to initiate the beast pulls. You can't give it too much gas or you'll just sit there and dig a hole.
That's right. Spin the tires. And it's hard. You got to look out the side sometimes to see where you're going. And the Virginian makes it through 17.19 seconds. And coming up now, this is the Warlord. It is a rail, a top fuel dragster, putting out 2,000 horsepower, driven by Mike Hoff. 557 Keith Black Hemi. It is blown and supercharged. And this machine, interestingly enough, was the 1976 NHRA top fuel dragster champion.
I like the fact that it burns 5 gallons of methanol per run.
For 100 feet. 5 gallons of methanol. Use that only as an estimate. Your mileage may vary. This is the Warlord. Top fuel dragster, and here we go. Let's see if he can beat the funny car. The crowd is watching this guy go. Got to be the 17-19 clocking. Oh, the sound of that engine, that big Keith Black Hemi engine putting out all the decibels. And there you're seeing it dig in the back just a little bit, Margo.
Any longer of a wheelbase, and he'd be out of the camera frame.
The Warlord, top fueler, NHRA top fuel champion back in 1976. He's happy, nodding to his crew. Here's a look at him. That Simpson helmet. Darth Vader-type helmet. Look back in slow motion. Let's see what he clocks in the 100 feet. Front wheels starting to come up, and you'll see those giant, huge rear tires starting to spin just a little bit.
That's an intimidating picture there. He looks like he means business.
It really is. 18.61 seconds for Mike Hoff on the Warlord. Just a little bit over a second slower than the Virginian, the funny car. He stops and stops hard. Some of our young ladies there. I think that's from Steve Cannon's crew, our producer. And coming up now, this is Whiplash. Mike Hollingsworth of Springfield, Tennessee. It's an adventure, I believe it is, Margo. Whiplash, Hollingsworth the driver, 1,200 horsepower. This is the first pulling dragster ever made, and it's still kind of interesting, Margo.
That's Mike's claim to fame. He's got to specifically position the weight so it will pull. The frame started out as a dragster, but you won't be seeing it on any asphalt drag strips around the country.
Look at the engine. It's a mild steel and aluminum tubular frame. C-Tech puller tires digging in and biting, and the front wheels come up in the air. Not in slow motion yet, believe me. He's pulling 50,000 pounds. The wheels come back down. It is a full pull. He's got to be 17-19. Wow! He lays it down on fire, and smoke belts out of that engine.
Mike is a stoker.
Yes, he is. He likes it, too. Likes the adulation of the crowd. Most of these drivers are neat people. They really are. They're happy to be on television, nationwide television. They're neat to work with, and they're just incredible professionals who put a lot of effort and time into their driving. Looking back at it, this is Whiplash. Now, if that front end comes up anymore, we'll get a chance to look at that frame. It's an older machine. First pulling dragster ever made.
There it starts to come up.
Yep, there's the frame underneath. Mild steel and aluminum tubular frame.
you mentioned how interesting the drivers were. I think it also is because they're so involved in their equipment, they just don't show up and drive. You know, they take a big part in building these machines.
1627 the clocking, and there are the monster trucks, the monster machines, the tanks. This is the Flying Farmer, Dan NEARPATH, Coldwater, Michigan. 574 Chevy. This guy might have an edge, Margo.
That's right.
He's a sled operator. For some trucking, he might have a little bit of advantage knowing the feel of his sled. That's really important. The Flying Farmer. They love him here in Minneapolis because they got a lot of farmers around here.
Not too many sled drivers.
Nope, not too many. He's got to beat 16.27 seconds. The Flying Farmer fuel funny car. Locks it into gear, and here we go. Here's the run. Putting out a tremendous amount of horsepower. Around 2,000 horsepower. Got that front wheel, those front wheels down. They're bouncing a little bit. Perfect run so far, Margo. He's going to be 16.27. I think he's got it.
I think he put his experience to good use right there.
Dan NEARPATH, 34 years old. Operates a sled when he's not driving in front of one. Beautiful helmet, too. Got a fire suit on, full fire suit. Let's take a look back at it. Waiting for Ken Benet to give us the word on the clocking, the time. Got to beat a 16:27.
Those sled drivers might have gotten tired of eating all that dirt sitting way back on the sled.
It's a very important role. We've got to have people to know what they're doing to operate those sleds, because if something goes wrong, they shut it all down instantly. The clocking, 12:32. Fastest time of the night. Here we go with one of the most famous top fuel funny cars in existence, the Chi-Town Hustler. Well, I've done commercials over the years for different racetracks across the country, and I've said this 100 or 150 times. Chi-Town Hustler, Littletown, Pennsylvania. It's a 574 Keith Black Hemi, putting out 2,000 horsepower, ground horsepower. Mike Hoff, the driver, 6,000 pounds, the Chi-Town Hustler.
And I don't want to date you, Larry, but it says here Mike's been doing it 20 years.
I've been doing this 20 years, too, I'll tell you. He's got to beat at 12:32, the Chi-Town Hustler, and he can do it. Whoa, oh, this boy came to drive. Oh, takes it all the way through. I think we've got a new leader and a winner.
No, it's not the first time that the Keith took the gold.
Boy, he's been around for an awfully long time, since the days of Orange County International Raceway and Lions Drag Strip. Keith Black has been building engines since the late 50s, and he built a fast one here tonight. Take another look back at the Chi-Town Hustler. Off the line, no problems, you can see the sled operator on the right-hand side of the screen looking over, making sure everything's okay, but he's having no problems at all, Margo.
That's right. It looks like these funny cars really had an advantage with that shorter wheelbase. They could keep the power to the rear wheels just a little easier.
The clocking, 11.66 seconds. Whoa. And there are the monster trucks and the monster tanks, and there is a fan. This is the Hot Rockin' 104 Gator. He's happy. Coming up next, the first round of a side-by-side monster truck elimination.